This week on Checkpoint.
The accused failed as a mother in that she did not protect her extremely vulnerable child against the attack of a grown-up man.
You know for a fact that she's protecting someone. There was a male who raped this child. I mean, that's what our medical evidence tells us.
A mother's betrayal.
It was my first case dealing with a case where a victim is only 2 months. So it was very difficult because the baby can't tell you what exactly happened.
We asked the suspect several times, 1,000 times, what happened to the baby, but he refused to tell the truth.
I've never ever come across a mother who didn't have the instinct to protect her child, and she just didn't.
This is Checkpoint, and I'm Ngepile Mabuse. She's referred to as Baby M. At the age of 2 months, she was so brutally raped, she almost died. Yet her mother refused to admit to her daughter's sexual violation and instead protected the person responsible. Now the 29-year-old woman has been sentenced to life behind bars, while the rapist is free. Karen Morn reports on a chilling court case and landmark judgment.
This 29-year-old woman has just been sentenced to life behind bars. Her crime? Aiding and abetting the man who brutally raped her 2-month-old baby girl.
The accused failed as a mother in that she did not protect her extremely vulnerable child against the attack of a grown-up man and continues to protect the identity of that man at the cost of her own future and that of her own family's.
Even now, the woman insists her baby wasn't raped and seems to blame the police and prosecution for the life term she must now serve.
I want my God to bless you. Thank you.
6 November 2016. It is just after 4 o'clock in the morning, and landlady Sibongile Khumalo is woken by the sound of her tenant screaming.
She was screaming, then my daughter Thando waked me up. Then I went outside. I asked her what's going on. She said to me the baby fell from the bed. Yes, so the baby was on top of the bed. She was suffering to breathe.
The baby's mother had blood on her skirt.
I went to the other tenant, Figile. I waked him up. I asked him to take the baby and the mother to Paragonat Hospital.
They got lost, and then they ended up in casualty, and one of the junior doctors in my department didn't really know what to do with them, so admitted her. And I came across her the next morning on my theatre list. And for the first time realized what was going on. So on the outside, the baby looked fine, wasn't crying or anything like that. But when I opened the child's nappy for the first time was when I realized that the story that Mommy was telling us and what I could see were completely different things. So she said that the baby had fallen off the bed in a split position, and that's how the child got injured. But there's no way that is what happened to the child.
Dr. Singh took the baby into theatre and put her under anesthetic. This was to ensure the examination of the tiny infant was as untraumatic as possible.
She was 6 kilograms. She was 60 centimeters. I mean, this is 60 centimeters. That's how big she was.
When I opened the nappy, I came outside to ask the mom again, "Are you sure? Is this really the story that you want to tell me?" And she said yes. And I said, "I really think that your baby has been harmed, and we need to protect her from this happening again. Please, will you tell me what happened?" And she again told me the same story. And then I said to her, I'm going to have to phone the police.
She called the police and asked them for a pediatric rape kit for baby M. Soweto police officer Captain Moeketsi November was one of 2 officers sent to conduct a preliminary investigation back at the home where baby M was found, so badly injured.
On arrival at the crime scene, I found the mother of the victim. She told me that the child fell on the bed. And then I asked her how the child fell. She told me no. She fell, and then to such an extent that she sustained injuries on her private parts. Therefore, I asked her what was the child wearing by that time she fell. She told me the child was wearing a napkin. And then I asked her, where is that napkin? She told me that she threw it in the dustbin. So I searched the dustbin and found it inside the dustbin. And then I took it and put it into the forensic plastic bag.
That nappy, which was blood-stained, would provide further grim proof that baby M had been raped.
They found the semen in that napkin.
November also confiscated the blood-stained clothes worn by baby M's mother on the night of her rape.
I think that the mother was hiding something. Because, you know, when I talked to her, she was not looking right into my eyes when I talked with her. I asked her to whom she is staying with, where is the boyfriend or the husband? She told me no, she has a husband, she has a boyfriend, but the boyfriend, by the time this incident took place, the boyfriend was not there. The boyfriend is at Maputo presently.
It would later become apparent, following police investigation, that this was not the truth. The baby's father was in South Africa at the time of her rape. But his account of what may have happened to the child would only emerge later on, as other police officials became involved in the case.
After Captain November was done with the preliminary investigation, I had to take over the case. It was my first case dealing with a case where a victim is only 2 months. So it was very difficult because the baby can't tell you what exactly happened. So you have to rely on the evidence that was found by the doctor and also the nappy that was found by Captain November.
But baby M's mother remained adamant that her daughter had not been raped.
She denied. She said that she's always with the baby. She's the one who's taking care of the baby. So there was no other person dealing with the baby. She would have known if something happened to the baby.
In a last desperate bid to persuade baby M's mother to admit the truth, Sergeant Mokele took her to consult with a prosecutor at the Protea Magistrates Court in Soweto.
And during the consultation, she was even blaming, saying something about the witchcraft. She just said that maybe somebody pushed the baby from the bed, but the windows were closed and the doors were closed, the burglar was locked, so really she doesn't know, she just blamed witchcraft. So then the prosecutor decided that no, we must arrest this person because obviously she's hiding something, so I had to arrest her.
A month after baby M was raped, her mother was charged with aiding and abetting her rapist and defeating the ends of justice. She was refused bail by the Protea Magistrates Court.
I went to see the mother in the cells. She was angry with me. She was crying, and then I told her, even if you can cry, if you don't want to reveal the person who did this, I won't even feel sorry for you. I was very stressed. I even cried in front of her.
She was so hard and emotionless when I spoke to her every time. Even when, as the case continued and we realized that how bad the damage was and how many operations the child had, she was in jail all that time. And we used to have to go to her with consent forms to get her to sign them through the bars. And even then, the realization didn't dawn on her. I've never, ever come across a mother who didn't have the instinct to protect her child, and she just didn't.
After the break, A case like no other.
I did cry, together with the advocate deploy.
What was very, difficult is that you know for a fact that she's protecting someone. There was a male who raped this child. I mean, that's what our medical evidence tells us.